on the 590 call. Oh, buddy, that's a good markdown, Brian, playing 47.20. So where's our live entries? Let's get down here. Let's. You did? Wow, people, here it is. Sell it on the, now put it out there. Sell that at 440. Get somebody to pay your profit. You learn how to limit that order out. That's $1.30 by 440. You got hit down there on the bottom of that. Now put that out there. Make them pay you. Make them pay you. You're in the money. That's still in that bid, $25.60 down is how that young man got hit on the bottom of that contract. And now he can put that out there at $3.90 to sell. He can put that out there. He's in control because $4.90 out. There it is. Green, that's how you do it. This is how it's done, MMT. $4.20 out. That should have been you. Drop the bid to $4.20. So whoever got hit, they got hit. And it's a $2 bid and ask spread, Mr. Plain. So the exit's at $2.90. That's a great trade. How did you steal that bid, sir?
I got 3 of my 5 at $1.30.
Okay. And I thought I had dropped that bid down to $1.20. But that's okay. 15 cents off the low. They closed at $30.50. And that MMT made a market. And what he was doing was controlling the emotional driver by being the king wholesale entry when everyone else lost all their money on 121, 2012, 458 call expiration. Okay? And another thing, I had bids out here on that 590. I'm taking this bid down to 85 pennies. These closed at 51.20, and it's been 5 minutes, and they were taken to the woodshed. And if you owned it and didn't listen that we said sell into it, that's just too much risk. And look what happened to them. And let it be known that this happens to people every day, because they do not have a risk scoring model that would tell them otherwise. So now I get to buy cheap and sell it back to them at a much lower price. And risk management is risk management. This very contract on this very opening bell of the 580 call is down here to 1020. That closed at 680. And yes, I had alarms. And yes, as a master in pricing, I will put bid on that 580 call. I'm going to be an owner. Cancel all and put those bids at 570 right now. 5.7. You have a 40-cent bid on a 590. On a 580, what is your bid again? 370. Very nice. Look at where they close, $60.80. Do you fear that wholesale bid, yes or no? Okay, good. Now, on the 450 call is 15 cents. And this is the same one. Thank you. ISRG is still selling. Google is still selling off. And how are your... All right. You would have to go with her after hours formula on Corrine last night. She knows that when it came down to 580, it bounced. Or yeah, exactly. So we're putting markets in on, oh yeah, we're really marking this baby down, aren't we? Isn't it great to be wholesale, everyone? Let's keep that bid there for the moment. They're going to finally, yeah, on 5. And just remember, earlier in the tape, when you're playing a high market as a market maker like me, you always cut these people out. You don't never worry about what's down here. You're ringing that money. And the people who don't ring the money get taken to that woodshed. And the people who do not take the money get taken to the woodshed. And we sold these out. We stole the bid on the first low of the day and sold them at 290. Was trying to get 420. Then I had to drop it to 350, and I finally had to tell them that because of lower, no. No, no, no. Options expiration can be very highly volatile, manipulative. There's all kinds of things that go in here. Look at the public lose from 30.50 down to $1. If that's not enough to convince you to be here, I don't know what is. That is, if you want like making markets wholesale. $5 on the low. I've got a 350 bid on that 440. I put a bottom in and I'm bouncing north. That's when you get long, Kareen. You don't hang around and let it bounce $2. MMT. That's not what you did yesterday. Why would you want to do that today? MMT, you got your live bids out there at 260. We're just trying to steal it. Now, watch the brain. Please give me the numbers, man. If you don't watch what I taught you, Karina, about the Delta chain, Joel, why don't you start telling them about that part of it? Yeah, everyone, right? Everyone loved it up here at $474 and all the upgrades, but when it got down here to where we bought it, they hate to buy at the low, but they love this. Boy, they love to buy things at the highs. They don't like to buy them down here. We're $7 off the low, and that's us off of those lows. We finally got it, and we'll go up. But the public really loved it up here. Yeah, all the analysts that pumped them in the stock, pumped them in up there. We like it down here because we find that this is more healthy. Okay? And it's going to put a bottom in. It's a huge $40 down movement. It was down a lot more than that. It was about $48 down. And we called this short because it was an overbought stock. But it's on our hunting list to buy long because it's a great quality. And yes, and same thing over here with this name, Google, as it's a Friday options expiration. And MMTs have done exceptionally well in the identity phases. And the identity phases are the phases of where turns take place at extreme bottoms. So on the ISRG chart, okay, we bought the bottom, all right. And the bottom finally hit. That's the gap and straight down here. And now there are going to be half bars and bottoms on an intraday level or a longer term level. They make their original bottom. That's their original rally. Now, what we'll be looking for in the name moving forward is that all the people that did get stopped out of the market, well, that they've been accommodated so that we can go ahead and take those purchases at much lower levels with much lower risk and much lower risk in the bid and ask. Yes, there's always risk. And we're 433 by 94. You can see how wide that bid and that ask is. But you can also see that the 10-minute had flattened out. We were buying over here. It got up. It never wanted to go below it, Mr. Gibson. Mr. Gibson off of that 5 delta. And people's... Yeah, well, people seen Google go down 7 deltas last night and bounce 2 deltas. It's a qual... Oh, I was wanting... All right, then let's buy a couple of them. What contract is that, ISRG? What was the low of the contract? Well, all right. I think that that's a valid contract, and that's going to be a February for recovery time, is what you're saying, right? Well, but it's up and out of the money, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's 1360 on the high. It's still $7 off the high.
They closed at $35. These contracts have only been slaughtered $28. I want more slaughter here. I want cheaper. And the high is 1360. That's your spread. Try to get me in around 5. Or I'll tell you what. I will buy one at $6.20 if I can get it, unless the stock turns around. Very good identity, A+ on that one. And that, once again, my friends, is going to be, his discovery was that the equity would recover over time. And because it's a month premium out, it's still a fairly decent, good markdown to be buying in this one here. And that's a 450 call February, 218 up and out of the money. Now, having said that, I'm dealing with this exit over here for a profit. And I got to buy ISRG Wholesale. Our goal was in the earnings season was to take the best of the breed and the best of the quality. And when they do get marked down from being overbought at $474 down here to $429.26, that's an attractive entry in the shorter macro. And I do believe in what this discovery is as we go throughout the expiration day is how do I get to buy a leadership company of quality on a pullback to sell back to the public, because we're buying these lows. So we are wholesale, and this is the reality. Yes, and we are wholesale in these contracts here. And yes, we are wholesale here. And yes, we are buying wholesale every which way. And yes, the name was marked down to 5 deltas in our brain. And it was. And the bottom is being put in here. This is a 3-minute chart. The 10-minute and the 20 are contracting. I'm going to be a buyer down here as long as I put in this ascending lateral 3-minute base here and now. And when I get above that 20-minute, I will continue to go higher in price, MMTs, and I will bounce at the 10-minute. And this is a bottom. It took 1 hour and 11 minutes from the opening bell on ISRG. Right here. Ascending. That's your support level. That's where you would look for the people to have strength at this level. And when you clear this level and these start to work and that this bottom builds, you're good to go.